Have you ever just looked around and thought, wait, how did I end up here? Like one day you were dreaming about who you wanted to be, and the next thing you know, you're just existing, doing what's expected, nodding along, pretending things are fine, even when they're not. Yeah, been there. Hey everyone, welcome back to Mindless Love. Today I want to talk about life and how to live it the way you want to live it, not how you think you should. The truth is, most of us don't choose to lose ourselves. It just kind of happens. You take a job that's fine. You stay in situations that are okay. You tell yourself it's just for now. And suddenly, just for now becomes your entire life. But here's the thing. You can actually change it. Not with a dramatic I'm moving to Bali reset, although hey, if that's your thing, go for it, but with something quieter, smaller, and way more powerful. This video is all about how to stop settling, stop waiting for permission, and start building a life that actually feels like yours again. All right, let's start with the hard truth. Most people aren't living their lives, they're just kinda managing them. We convince ourselves that what we have is fine. The job, fine. The relationship, fine. The general vibe of your life, you guessed it, fine. But here's the sneaky part. Fine is how settling disguises itself. It's comfort dressed up as stability. You tell yourself, this is temporary, I'll figure it out soon. And then 3 years later, you're still stuck in the same loop, drinking the same coffee, talking about how one day you'll finally do that thing you actually care about. Sound familiar? It's like you wake up one morning and realize you've built this entire life, and somehow it doesn't even feel like yours. You're playing a role you never signed up for, being the responsible one, the chill one, the one who does what they're supposed to. But deep down, something feels off. And that tiny feeling, that quiet, is this it? That's not a crisis. That's a wake-up call. Because the truth is, pretending everything's okay when it's not, that's exhausting. And the moment you stop doing that, even just admitting to yourself, I don't think I want this anymore, that's where change actually begins. Not with a dramatic breakdown, not with a big speech, but with a small whisper to yourself, I'm done pretending. Okay, so here's where most people get it wrong. We think that in order to change our lives, we have to blow them up. Quit our job, move to a new city, buy a van, and start a YouTube channel about minimalism and sunsets. And hey, if that's your vibe, go for it. But real change, it's actually way quieter than that. Most of the time, you don't need a full-blown life makeover. You just need to stop convincing yourself that being half alive is enough. You don't need a reset button. You just need a decision, a simple, steady, honest decision that says, I'm done living someone else's version of my life. Because that's where it really starts, not when everything changes overnight, but when you start doing the small, unglamorous stuff that feels more you. It's in the moment you stop saying yes out of guilt. It's when you stop pretending your goals are too big. It's when you start trusting your own gut again. The truth is, change rarely feels like fireworks. Most of the time, it feels like quietly realigning your life one tiny choice at a time. Like taking your power back in whispers instead of shouts. So yeah, you don't need to move to Bali. You just need to move back into yourself. The change doesn't start with a big speech or a dramatic, I'm reinventing myself moment. It usually starts in tiny, quiet acts of rebellion, the kind that look like nothing on the outside, but on the inside, you just started rewriting your entire story. It's that moment you catch yourself nodding yes to something you don't actually want to do, and instead you say, actually, no.
Or when you stop forcing yourself to be easygoing and start being honest instead. Or when you finally stop pretending you're okay with something that's been draining you for months. That's what I mean by small acts of defiance. They're little reminders that you get to choose. And once you start making those tiny shifts, everything else starts to move too. You realize you don't have to keep doing something just because you've always done it. You don't owe consistency to a version of you that no longer exists. Every no to what's wrong is a yes to something better, even if you don't know what that is yet. So yeah, rebellion doesn't have to look wild or chaotic. Sometimes it's just quietly reclaiming your energy, your boundaries, and your weekends.
All right, let's get one thing straight. No one's coming to save you. There's no secret permission slip that's going to show up in your inbox saying, "Congratulations, you're now allowed to live the life you actually want." We wait around for signs, approval, or the right time, like the universe is going to hand us a green light. Spoiler alert, it's not. The real freedom begins when you stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay and you start giving yourself the green light. You don't need your parents' blessing, your friends' validation, or society's weird checklist to prove you're doing life right. If it feels right to you, that's enough. Period. And let's talk about this whole timeline thing for a sec. You know that invisible script that says, by 25 you should have this, by 30 you should do that, and by 40 you should basically have your life tied up with a bow? Yeah, burn it. Life isn't a straight line, it's more like a messy doodle. Some people figure it out early, others take the scenic route. You're not behind, you're just on your own track. So stop waiting for permission. No one's coming to say you're ready because you already are. Let's talk about success, because honestly, it's one of the most confusing words on the planet. We're told it's supposed to look a certain way. Big house, perfect relationship, a job title that sounds fancy at parties. But here's the truth. Success isn't a finish line. It's a feeling. It's not that grand finale moment where your life suddenly makes sense. It's the tiny, quiet wins that happen every single day. Like getting out of bed when you didn't want to. Like finally saying no to that thing you hate doing. Like realizing you actually like your own company. That's the real stuff. And it's slippery. It changes as you do. What felt like success 5 years ago might feel like a cage now, and that's okay. And while we're being honest, life is messy. You're going to have bad days, weird weeks, awkward phases. You're going to fail, try again, and maybe fail some more. But that's not a sign you're doing it wrong. That's literally what life is. It's not a highlight reel. It's the blooper reel with a few golden moments in between. So stop waiting for your life to look perfect before you call it good. Sometimes just surviving the day is a win. And sometimes that's enough. One of the most underrated superpowers on Earth is saying no. Not the polite, hesitant, maybe not this time kind. I'm talking about the clean, confident, no explanation, no. It's wild how much your life changes when you start using it. Because every time you say no to something that drains you, you're actually saying yes to your peace, your time, and your sanity. And here's a little secret. The people who get the most upset when you set boundaries are usually the ones who benefited from you not having any. So yeah, some folks might roll their eyes, get weird, or act offended when you stop being endlessly available. Let them. You're not responsible for other people's comfort zones. And let's be honest, trying to please everyone, it's a full-time job that doesn't pay and never ends. No matter what you do, someone's gonna have an opinion. But guess what? You don't have to take every opinion personally. Most of the time, people's reactions say way more about them than about you. So stop editing yourself for approval. Stop shrinking so other people feel big.
You don't owe anyone your time, energy, or peace of mind. Saying no isn't rude. It's real. It's freedom disguised as a two-letter word.
There's a word called normal that we use in our day-to-day life. Who even decided what that means? Because honestly, it sounds exhausting. Normal is like this vague, one-size-fits-all label that no one actually fits into, but we still keep trying. We shave off our edges, mute our personalities, and call it being mature. Meanwhile, we're just turning into slightly upgraded NPCs. Here's the truth. The quirks you hide, the things that make you a little too much, that's the good stuff. That's what makes life interesting, and you unforgettable. You don't need to blend in. You need to come alive. You don't need to be relatable. You need to be real. The most magnetic people you know aren't normal. They're just unapologetically themselves. They laugh too loud, dream too big, say the awkward thing out loud, and that's exactly why we love them. So stop trying to earn your spot in the normal club. That place is boring. Be weird. Be unpredictable. Be fully, gloriously you. Because the goal isn't to be normal. It's to be honest. And that's way more fun. All right, final thing. And it might be the most important one. You don't have to earn the right to feel happy. You don't have to hit some magical milestone before you're allowed to breathe and actually enjoy your life. So many of us walk around thinking, when I finally lose the weight, when I finally get the job, when I finally feel confident, then I'll be enough. But here's the truth. You were already enough before any of that. You don't need to upgrade yourself to be worthy of peace. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, not even to yourself. The version of you right now, messy, figuring it out, doing your best, is exactly the right version to start living the life you want. Because being enough isn't something you achieve. It's something you remember. So stop waiting for the perfect version of you to show up. This is it. This is who you are, and that's more than enough. Take the pressure off, take a deep breath, and go live, not for someday, but for right now. So yeah, that's it. No secret formula, no five-step plan to find yourself. Just small choices, honest conversations, and tiny acts of rebellion that slowly bring you back home to you. Because the truth is, your life doesn't need to look dramatic to be meaningful. It just needs to feel like yours. So if this video gave you even a tiny spark, that little, oh yeah, I needed to hear that moment, then take it as your sign to start. Say no when you mean no. Say yes when it feels right. Let it be messy. Let it be real. Just make it yours. And hey, if you liked hanging out here, hit that like button, subscribe, or share this with someone who's been feeling stuck. Let's remind each other that it's okay to start over, or better yet, to start being ourselves again. See you in the next one.